this goes. It's the big 2-7 this week for me. Damn. And, you know, maybe my basic bitch is showing, but...
I'm 27 and I don't know who I am, but I know what I want.
Those lines speak to me. It came out last month, that Boy Genius song, and you know, this video is not a Boy Genius dissection, but you know, allow me to use that as a jumping off point. And it's true, Phoebe, I don't know who I am, but I do know what I want. What do you want, EJ? Well, thanks for asking. I think fundamentally all of us kind of want similar things, and that is, you know, I guess primarily, fundamentally, it's to be happy. And, you know, doing what we can to spread that happiness and that joy to others, the ones we love. What brings this happiness, what brings this joy? Well, it's different things for different people. And I think the beginning of this, you know, it all starts with being honest with yourself, knowing what you want, and then doing everything within your power to go and try, you know, make that happen for yourself. And like I said, it's different things for different people. People have wildly different expectations of what makes them happy and stuff like that. There's a quote that I go back to a lot by philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and I honestly first heard this from a movie directed by me, Hansen-Løve, called Things to Come, and the quote, and I'll read it to you. "So long as we desire, we can do without happiness. We expect to achieve it. If happiness fails to come, hope persists, and illusion's charm lasts as long as the passion causing it." Shout out Polachek. And personally, I have this tug and pull of whether or not I'm doing my part in that. There's this dissonance within me. It's as if I'm just half leaning into the passion, and the final end result is just half-baked and rather unfulfilling. You can say that there's a healthy amount of pressure that one can put on oneself. You know, this pressure is important in holding yourself accountable. It's like saying it's okay to be nervous before you go on stage, before a play, or before you give a presentation at your job. It means you care deeply about what you're doing. You know, these jitters. But I honestly think I shoot myself in the foot with this pressure, and it's mostly, or maybe exclusively, self-imposed. It's something I've been doing since I was a teenager, and you know, I'm trying to get better at it, this act of compartmentalizing these different complex thoughts. Me acknowledging it is step one, but to bring it back to birthdays, I don't know, man. Maybe it's the forced reflection, you know, the same reason why I'm not the biggest fan of New Year's. It's the misalignment of expectations for yourself and the reality of your situation. Maybe I'm impatient, but mostly I just think I'm scared. I'm working on it. I mean, I'm not sure if it's gluttonous of me to want more, but the things I want are not physical, they're intangible, they're quite elusive. These desires sometimes are the bane of me.
To love is to suffer. To avoid suffering, one must not love. But then one suffers from not loving. Therefore, to love is to suffer, not to love is to suffer. To suffer is to suffer. To be happy is to love. To be happy, then, is to suffer, but suffering makes one unhappy. Therefore, to be unhappy, one must love or love to suffer or suffer from too much happiness. I hope you're getting this down.
To love is to suffer then. I was at a writers meetup this past weekend in the city. I saw it on Twitter, and honestly, it was a great time. And, you know, while I was talking with some of these writers, one of the topics that we landed on, this small conversation I was having, was why do we write? And given that this was a screenwriters meetup, like, why do we write for movies or for TV, stuff like that? So my contribution to the conversation, I kind of said similar things as what I said in a previous video, but I stick by them. I stick by what I said back then. I'm processing these complex emotions around my birthdays in general, you know, my self-worth, my idea of self-worth and things like that. And the musings and learnings that I go back to a lot, you know, come from movies. I mean, from all art itself, you know, like music, paintings, books, poetry, graffiti in the city, this beautiful image of a mother and child on the subway, you know, all of that is art, and there's so much you can take away from these beautiful images. And, you know, I arrive at a moment of clarity because of this art that I processed, and you know, I feel like I have a better sense of myself and the world around me. You know, I'm not finding any major eurekas on camera right now, talking to you, talking to the lens. You know, I'm largely the same person that I was back when I made that video a few months into the pandemic. You know, I'm kind of just saying things right now that I know about myself and believe about myself and the world around me. But I'm making this video mostly to hold myself accountable. You know, this video didn't exist before and now it does. And then, you know, maybe I can watch this video some odd years from now and future me can tell this 26, almost 27-year-old EJ that the future is still freaking stressful, but you'll be alright. I'm 67 and I don't know who I am. I'm also making this video because my friend Pete relaunched his YouTube channel.
So this is an idea from an Ethan Hawke video that my friend EJ showed me. EJ is, of course, one of the 15 viewers of this video.
He gave me a cool shout out in the same sentence as Ethan Hawke. I mean, come on, I'm chuffed to bits. And you know, maybe I'm just riding his creative coattails for the minute, but you know, the sentiment of creating for creating's sake, getting thoughts out there, it's liberating. You know, maybe I do a few of these videos, a few short screenplays, a few short stories for these various contests or just these creative projects I find myself doing. And, you know, over time, in the 10,000 hour rules, I can notice this incremental improvement between each project. I mean, and by and large, I want to create something new because I think I just have these ideas burning inside of me that I might explode if I don't share them or just release them, you know. It's catharsis in a way. It's just my attempt at making sense of things around me. And yeah, I'd like to think some of these ideas aren't shit. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to move a person or two with it. You know, I'm doing this video, it's holding myself accountable. It's manifestations maybe, it's whatever you want to call it. It's my birthday too, so I can do whatever the hell I want, right? I could go on, but for right now, I guess that's it. That's all the time we have this week. You're not my therapist. Same time next week though, right? I mean, if you made it this far, you're already a real one. I appreciate you. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I don't like my birthday all too much, but I'm trying.